It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons coming up next.
The weather this time of year in the South, perfect. Fall football weather, and we've got the roof wide open here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the heart of Georgia. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons. And a welcome in, everybody, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, so much gets made about offensive comparisons. Here's a matchup where the defenses may just take center stage.
Yeah, we're usually talking about guys scoring touchdowns. How about the guys who prevent them and change the momentum of the game when they take the ball away? I love those ball hawks in the secondary. People after my own heart.
Two teams more than ready to get this one started. And off we go on EA Sports. This will be fielded inside the 5. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. Well, the Falcons now get to stretch their wings on offense here, and at quarterback for them is a former second overall pick who spent 4 seasons as a starter in Tennessee, Marcus Mariota.
Coming out of Oregon as the Heisman Trophy winner, we thought that this guy was headed towards superstardom, and while he didn't quite reach those heights, he did have some flashes along the way. And right now, his athleticism continues to keep him in the league. Still has a good arm, mobile, a great guy to have in the locker room. He can win if given an opportunity.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down. Beginning on the ground with Patterson. A little juke. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
From the 24, Mariota. That's to the speedster All-Madden Zaccheaus. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 15 yards, first down and 1. Mariota. And complete to Drake London. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. They'll come up now on second and a yard. On second down, a run with Patterson. Nifty move. Jukes by again. Always got some breathing room. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta.
Bottom line, when you player running with these talents, you've got to be able to wrap up and get him on the ground. Or the first person who gets there, hold him up long enough for the next wave to get there and get him down. Otherwise, he will continue downfield and find pay dirt.
Now for the point after. It's good, and that gives the Falcons a 7-0 lead. A drive there of just 4 plays. And a long run there in the end to top it off. Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. Sims going to go ahead and hold on to this one, and they'll start at the 25. Now we get our first look at the hometown kid, rookie Kenny Pickett from the University of Pittsburgh, as he leads the Steeler offense out for their first possession.
And when you watch Kenny Pickett play, you see a young man who got better every season in college and really blossomed in his final campaign, took his game to a new level, and made him a first-round pick in the NFL. He's the type of kid who can beat you with his mind, beat you with his arm, and occasionally with his legs. A tough, skilled performer. Kenny Pickett, he's got some moxie to him.
Pickett leads the Steelers up here with a fresh set of downs at their 25-yard line. Here's the leading rusher amongst rookies last season, Najee Harris. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Solid way to start the drive, 13 yards, picking up the first.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They run again with Harris. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Pickett looking to throw on 2nd down. That'll be taken in there by Miles Boykin. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. On 1st and 10, it's Pickett. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. Following the play here, now we've got an injury. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Harris running straight ahead. And pretty good running as he'll be close to a first down at the Falcons' 23. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
That was a good forceful run, and it demonstrates why you've got to put your body on the runner when you're trying to tackle him. If you just go in there and just try and get him down with arm tackles, usually doesn't work very well, and we saw in that play, he'll run right through those attempted plays.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. There to stop him on the defensive side, Lorenzo Carter.
Well, they gave up a few yards there, but all in all, I think it's a pretty nice job defensively against the jet sweep. If they don't slow him up, he might take it to the house, so they'll take that play every time on the defensive side of the ball.
From the 17, Pickett escaping the pressure right. He turned that into a nice gain, gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down.
That's an early spread that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensively, they're already giving up a huge play in one of their first tests in containing a quarterback on the run.
On 3rd down, here's Harris. They'll be marked inches short. No gain on the play, and that's going to lead them to 4th down. Remember, that was less than a yard. That was not a full yard. That defense, they were having none of it.
Yeah, the surge the offensive line was seeking actually occurred on the other side of the ball. They reestablished the line of scrimmage and stuffed them.
They're going for it. This is Harris. And he'll be touchdown here, but not before he does pick up the first. It's a gain of 4 that time. And the Steelers are going to have a 1st and goal. There wasn't even thought of a short field goal. There was no hesitation. They were going for it.
I think he was thinking ahead a couple plays ago. That if he got in this situation, they were definitely going for it. And you're right. It was a confident call and a decisive run to pick it up.
First and goal, and a chance to get that initial touchdown right back. They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. They hand this off to Harris. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Najee Harris, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Steelers respond to that opening drive touchdown with one of their own. Well, first quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
Point after here coming up. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. That one in the books as a 12-play drive.
And it was Najee Harris who finished it off with a touchdown run.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away.
Fields it right around the goal line.
And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. So for the second time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense.
So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
Now Patterson to start the drive.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
And when the defense wins and gives up no yardage on a running play, that's something they can build on and carry themselves forward throughout the game.
The rush defense stout on first down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's Mariota. Zacchaeus here hauling it in. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense: find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Mariota now. He's got a man. It's Firkser, the tight end. And he is going to have a Falcons first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that's well executed there on third down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
First and 10, it's Patterson. He'll take it past the 40 to the 41, second down.
We've called a lot of games, but we don't normally talk about inside linebackers being that fleet of foot, do we?
No, he was able to get outside there to make that play.
Yeah, and you know what makes them faster? Their ability to read plays, understand what offenses are trying to do, and put themselves in proper position.
From the 41, Mariota. That's Cordero Patterson hauling it in. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
I know this may be jumping the gun a little bit, but 7-7, they're flinging it around like crazy. Look at the drive that's going on here. Partner, we may have to start thinking about one of these defenses just holding someone to a field goal and maybe trying to get an advantage that way.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Now Mariota.
Throw left side here, hauled in by the tight end Firkser. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
From the 47, it's 2nd and 5. Back to the ground now, Patterson.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. On 3rd down, Mariota.
And that ball incomplete, nearly intercepted. Took a chance with that one. It'll lead to a 4th down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone, and there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
The punt team on now as Pinion sends this one away. And this is a beauty as that ball's going to angle out at the 6-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
They'll start the drive with Harris. Oh, good move at the 10. And he'll take this one up to about the 13. 42 yards rushing for him now to this point. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
To the air on first down with Pickett. He gets it complete to Harris. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be 2nd down. Working out of the gun, it's Pickett. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Disrupting that play and dropping him was Arnold Ebiketie.
That's a ball he needs to let go of there. Wasn't the most time in the world to work to his progression, but NFL quarterbacks, they've got to sense the pressure. They've got that internal clock, and the ball has to be gone. And if you're not going to escape and run for it, you have to let it go before the pressure gets to you and puts you on the ground.
Pickett and the Steelers in need of a big play here. 3rd and long after the sack. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Finding Harris over the middle. And he'll only get this to the 17, well shy of what he needed. These two teams all tied after 1. Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2. On 4th down, here's Presley Harvin on to punt. Avery Williams deep for Atlanta. Ooh, with a juke. Yeah, that's a 48-yard punt with a coverage holding him to 3 on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. And here now come the Falcons. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Now Mariota. That's complete to his top. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. But the Falcons were able to recover, so they will keep possession. Call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42.
But when you go from 2nd and 4 to 3rd and 3, that just tells you who won that battle on the last play, huh?
Yeah, first round went to the offense, second round the defense. And Pittsburgh with 6 defensive backs in the game here on 3rd down. Mariota. And this one is incomplete.
So many things have to go right for any passing play to work out. Quarterback has to understand the defense, deliver an accurate ball. Receiver has to concentrate and bring it in. Somewhere along the assembly line, something was off with that one.
So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10.
Pickett leads the Steelers up here with a fresh set of downs.
At their own 20-yard line.
1st and 10, here's Pickett.
Eluding the pressure right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only 1st down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
51 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop the shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Now here's another carry for Harris.
He's going to be a yard short.
Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
On is Presley Harvin now as he'll send this one away.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Well, the Falcons back out getting set for this next drive. First and 10 now for the Falcons, and Mariota
at the 20. They're going to start the drive here on the ground with Patterson. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big.
Now a throw here, hauled in.
And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Throwing is Mariota. And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag coming in. This could be a 1st down. Thought they were going to force a fourth down. Instead, P.I. gives them the first.
And that's frustrating because you think you've taken them really deep into the count, haven't you? Instead, you've got to start all over. That can really, really be demoralizing.
Mariota on first down. Over the middle, caught by London. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or man coverage, the drag route can be effective when it's run well.
A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches.
A shotgun handoff to Patterson, and he'll get it down to the play to the 37. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Mariota. And that's incomplete.
Drake London, his intended target.
And now it's 2nd down. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10.
Patterson, he'll try it up the middle.
And he'll get 3 down to the 34-yard line.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The Falcons on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Throwing, Mariota. Throw out right, taken in by Patterson. So they'll get nothing out of that play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
On 4th down, Mariota is off, and on comes Atlanta's Younghoe Koo.
On the right hash, officially this will be a 51-yard attempt. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2.
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3, and this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over, and it's a big kick, but now if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong because they have plenty of leg.
And because they couldn't hit the long field goal, they are set up nicely offensively at the 41, 1st and 10.
Pickett.
It's brought in by Harris. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
From the gun, here's Pickett.
Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack.
Arnold Ebiketie.
That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. Tell you what, he did not have much time there to scan the field before he was ducking and covering.
Did it appear to you, as it did to me, that the defensive front won their play really quickly, meaning the guys in front of them had almost no chance to block him? They were on him in a hurry.
Pickett and the Steelers in need of a big play here. 3rd and long after the sack.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw.
And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Amazing. Perfectly placed. If that ball goes 1 extra yard, maybe not even an extra yard, the starting point is the 20.
So there is a reason that a lot of punters are also excellent golfers. They know distance control. You know what else they have? Same groove motion over and over. Once they have that down, it repeats under pressure.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. They were looking for a little spark and some breathing room. They got it right there, a gain of 14 and a first down.
Partner, I think that play echoed a short yardage run. I know they were backed against their own goal line, but when they stack the defensive line like that, if you find any type of a crease, you're up to the 3rd level before you know it.
So that last play gives him a little more space now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Mariota to throw it. He's got the tight end Furtzer right side complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. 10 yards there and a first down for the Falcons.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Mariota. Flush to his right. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
2nd and 6. No, scratch that. 2nd and 7. To throw Mariota. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
3rd and short yardage. Mariota. And that will be incomplete. They sure went against conventional wisdom, calling a pass on 3rd and inches.
Had to be thinking to themselves, the defense is going to overcommit against the run. Should be an easy pitch and catch. Didn't turn out that way.
Now here's Bradley Pinion now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Pickett leads the Steelers up here with a fresh set of downs at their own 22. Harris will start the drive out. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Looking to throw, Pickett.
And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now Pickett. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I think we can make this one pretty simple. That was a rookie mistake made by the rookie quarterback, trying to force a pass without really using proper mechanics.
Here's Presley Harvin now.
Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return.
And it will be Falcon football.
Atlanta now coming out on the field.
As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Beginning on the ground with Patterson. He'll get it across the 35. It'll be second down.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain, so you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Working out of the gun, Mariota. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Mariota had an 87-yard run as a rookie. This one a bit less, but it is a first down.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes for him moving forward.
A first down throw for Mariota. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Miles Jack.
And the Steelers are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
Pickett leads the Steelers up here with a fresh set of downs.
At their own 42. They'll start on the ground with Harris.
And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. 67 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries.
Good push up front and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. All knotted up at 7.
Pickett now on first down.
Over the middle, complete. That's Sims.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
Looking to throw again on second down. Pickett. That's complete to his tight end, Freiermuth. And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. Pickett to his tight end, Freiermuth, for the Steeler first.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Flushed out right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit when he decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit, they recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. But it's only second and short, so that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Ahead of the chains now, second and 2. Here's Pickett. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And returning right back to Boykin. And the Steelers are going to be set up with a first and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line.
And these two hooked up on a nice gain to play before. Always admire play callers. They see a play that works and go right back to it. So they went right back to him. The reward, they're set up with first and goal.
Back to throw, Pickett. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them at the end zone as the first half winds down.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's second and goal now. Working out of the gun, it's Pickett. Escaping the pressure right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
Now the Steelers going to use their third and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Now a field goal forthcoming for the Steelers. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. This one fielded at the 5. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together.
They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, BG, thanks very much, and welcome one and all to our beautiful new downtown Orlando studios for this EA Sports Halftime Report. First up, though, let's take a look at the next-gen stats from the first half for the Steelers. And they've had some success on the ground, and with the lead going into the second half, they'll no doubt be looking to keep it going. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football, and they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break.
Okay, Coach, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. And the Steeler offense ready to get going here in this third quarter. But Charles, for them, pretty good first half on the ground. They had some success running the ball in quarters 1 and 2, and they've got the lead. Now a chance to expand upon that lead here with their first drive in the third quarter.
Yeah, and believe it or not, you and I have noticed that this great game of football has shifted towards pass first, run second. So for me, it is really nice to see some of these teams keeping the ground game as a big component of their offense, and it's working pretty well for them now. And let's face it, they can continue to do damage with it. And in addition, it sets up the pass game really well for them too.
And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Now let's see who this is on. So a roughing the passer penalty there, CD.
And we know that these pass rushers love to get after rookie quarterbacks, but they've still got to do it within the scope of the rules. And that time, the hit came just a little bit too late. And the official won't even think twice about pulling his flag on that one.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. To the air on first down with Pickett. Quick completion here to Johnson. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it's second down.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Throwing again on second down. Pickett eluding the pressure right. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
Brandon, you know I'm all about quarterbacks protecting themselves, but I have to admit it, I liked what I just saw there. That rookie wasn't afraid of absorbing a big hit. Now, you don't want to see him taking those shots all game long, but he picked up the first down, kept fighting for yards, and was willing to embrace some contact to keep the play moving.
Pickett to throw on first down. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. They dial up the corner blitz that time, and it delivers to the tune of a 9-yard loss. Now, the number one mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
Throwing on second and long. Pickett, and a little floater there is incomplete. And Charles got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Pickett, he'll look to throw it. Oh, he's going to go for it all. And this one dropped in the end zone. Looked like a touchdown, but not to be, and now it's fourth down.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides, and there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
The Steelers send out their punter now. He's been terrific so far. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Here comes the Falcons offense. It's their first possession of the second half now.
Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive. First and 10 now for the Falcons, and Mariota
at their own 28-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, second and 10.
On second down, a run with Patterson.
And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to third and 10. Continues to be a struggle for this offense, and this home crowd, they're growing a little restless here in the second half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Sutton, and they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
Certainly not his best throw that time, and not a good time to make it, Charles, when they were a nickel with 5 defensive backs on the field.
And that's exactly why you have those 5 DBs out there. You want extra speed on the field, guys who have ball skills and understand what the passing game can do, and gives them a chance to react and make a play on the football, and they take one of those away.
First and 10, here's Pickett. Pass complete, George Pickens with it.
And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. That'll give him 8 that time, and it'll be second in a couple.
Pickett.
Steps away to his left. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
Well, sometimes the defense just beats you. Great coverage from the secondary. All of them in the proper position. So instead of trying to throw into tight coverage, he found a way to throw it away and come back and try again the next down.
After the incompletion, here now, third and 2.
Pickett will look to throw it here.
Forced out to his left. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. The third down battle won by Atlanta's defense. Solid coverage.
Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
The fullback wide, and I don't think he got there. He did not. They stop him a yard shy. He needed two. He only got one. And the Falcons defense stands tall. They'll get the football back. Well, their first fourth down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any fourth down stop is a big momentum play.
First and 10 now for the Falcons, and Mariota
at the 31-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And on the stop, Damontae Kazee.
Well, we all know the guy carrying the ball is going to get the credit both in the stat line and probably in the newspaper. But guess what? Those guys creating holes, they couldn't feel better about themselves right now. Offensive line, tight end, probably even the wide receivers are involved. They're moving the ball well.
Once more, they turn to Patterson. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
93 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
It's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. The defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
First down, Mariota. His throw incomplete.
Right now, the story of this game continuing to be the defenses because the offenses, they're finding it difficult to establish any rhythm whatsoever.
I like how you come to us in praise of defense, Brandon, because that's exactly right. That was an incompletion forced there, but we've seen it throughout this game. Both of these defense coordinators, they're a step ahead of their offensive counterparts.
Straight ahead, Patterson.
And 3 yards there takes him to the 45. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
On third down, Mariota. And that is incomplete.
Nice call by the defense there on third down. Just flood the field with extra defensive backs in their dime package. Nowhere to go with the football. Forces the incompletion.
It's showtime, baby.
Here's Bradley Pinion now as he'll punt it away for the fourth time today. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it first and 10.
Get something together. It's all like popcorn. Come on now. It's all like popcorn.
On first and 10, it's Pickett.
He gets it left side to Johnson. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
They got one more time, baby. This is the calm before the storm, baby. Come on right now.
Harris running straight ahead.
And this is going to be a Steelers first down as good running gets him to about the 44.
We often give credit to the O-line there. Two tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Pickett back to throw.
Looking left sideline, incomplete.
George Pickens, his intended receiver there.
That'll bring up second down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different no matter what you do in practice. You can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10.
Pickens on the slant. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
Oh, it's a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and inches.
Still want to be prepared for a pass.
Looking to throw. Pickett. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
But that's Grady Jarrett who forced his way through to register the sack. Boy, Charles, that time he took a bad situation and made it worse.
Yeah, you're almost putting together a nice little song there, aren't you? Because it's something you'll see from young quarterbacks. They have that tendency to retreat backwards instead of stepping up in the pocket.
The Steelers send out their punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. On the return is Williams. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
Let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's dominate this. Get ready.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the shotgun, it's Mariota. Throw out right, taken in by Patterson. And he's going to lose yardage here, back to his own 18. So they'll wind up losing 7 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. From the gun, Mariota. That'll be taken in by Demir Bird. And he is going to have a Falcons 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's 2nd down.
Typically on the read option play, when we talk about responsibilities, we're talking about what the quarterback has to go through. How about the inside linebacker, though? His job on this play, shadow the quarterback and hold him to a short gain. Did it to perfection.
Patterson running between the tackles. And not much room to speak of. He'll get about 3 up to the 41.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
The Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. Mariota to throw it. Zacchaeus here hauling it in. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. That gain on 3rd down, good for 28.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Mariota. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. There's your co-NFL record holder, T.J. Watt, doing what he does best, terrorizing quarterbacks. Well, he shot in, CD, like he was out of a cannon from that linebacker position. And even though they had a running back in the backfield, no one could stop him.
Well, you certainly diagnosed that play perfectly because as fast as he got into the backfield, you're exactly right. The running back had no shot to get over and try and protect his quarterback, and a sack resulted.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. A right side run with Patterson. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there, so from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Now Mariota. 5 yards that time out of the scramble, but now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
That looked great when he first took off because in my mind, there was room to run and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with this 4th down call.
Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. The fullback dive held up short. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. And you wonder, Charles, could that decision come back to haunt them later?
And it really could, because in this situation, you kick the field goal in a tight game like this, that's a good play.
Yeah.
But maybe what he's saying to himself is, I'm just not a big proponent of the old idea that any possession that ends in a kick I'm happy with. He wanted to be really aggressive.
A little twist here in the 3rd quarter.
Let's get that. This is your game, baby. Let's go.
Pickett leads the Steelers up here with a fresh set of downs at their own 23. Looking to throw, Pickett. That's swung out wide to Harris. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Second and 2. Now Pickett. Being chased out left. He's got this to Pickens. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A 1st down there on a pickup of 25.
And that's a nice throw right there. And I'll tell you what I've seen in recent times and actually watched a presentation in the offseason from a college offensive coordinator that showed about 10 different drills that he runs with his quarterbacks to show them how to get out of the pocket, how how to get comfortable when they're doing so, and to make plays under that type of duress. That's an example of what we're seeing the colleges deliver to the NFL.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They hand this off to Harris. And some room to maneuver. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. So the scoring dried up here in the third. Nothing that quarter for either side. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10.
Pickett now on first down.
To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete.
Let's just make this one simple. Could he be any more open than he was on that play?
Yeah, they lost him going to the outside.
Hard to believe because you go through your accounting on each and every defensive snap. Who's got who, what defense you're in. That was totally a blown coverage.
To throw again on second down.
Pickett.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Pat Freiermuth, the intended target.
It's third down.
That was well defended. They clamped down on every available receiver. Just got to give the win to the defense on that snap.
The Steelers on third down. A very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
Here's Pickett.
And that will be incomplete.
Oh, they'll certainly be on the tablets going over that one for sure. Clearly, they were expecting something else out of the defense and couldn't adjust to make that completion happen.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to swell the lead to 6. And his kick is good. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Here's the Steelers' kick team as they'll boot this one away.
From out of his end zone, it's Avery Williams. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here.
They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
Now a dump off here complete. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that'll bring up second down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him. But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
First and 10, it's Patterson.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play there, second down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's picked up by the Steelers. Had some good yardage there, too, before he fumbled that football, Charles.
Yeah, just think about it this way. Running backs, as a general rule, they kind of know when the end of a run is near, and you notice how they cover up, right? They protect the football. Sometimes quarterbacks forget that out in the open field. After a while, you start to wonder, does the running back coach visit the quarterback coach and say, hey, I can help you with this. We can protect this and make sure we keep the ball.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. They'll be hoping to work a little clock and try to add on to this slim fourth quarter lead. But whatever happens on this drive, certainly a huge fumble recovery by their defense at this juncture. Now a first down carry for Harris. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They run again with Harris. And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and still feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now. And here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
And this is caught inside the 5. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
There's the arm strength that we saw in college and during the scouting process, and really, it's not just the arm strength there, but the placement as well. To me, that was an excellent combination of arm talent and accuracy.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Back to throw, Pickett. Finding Johnson on the out route, that's complete. Only a yard in the completion, it's 2nd and goal. Harris. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. No yardage to speak of whatsoever. Leads to a 3rd down.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
So it's 3rd and goal, and now the question, can this Falcon and he's in! Touchdown, Pittsburgh! Najee Harris, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Steelers are able to build on to their 4th quarter lead. So the 2nd down run didn't work. They run it again on 3rd down and get in. I wasn't sure if they might pass it, Charles. We know that they like to mix it up down here around the goal line.
Yeah, almost felt like the offensive line said, forget mixing it up. Let's call our favorite running play over our best blockers, and let's get this one in.
And now the Steeler offense staying out there, and they'll go for 2. Pickett will try to throw for this. And he's got it. So the two-point conversion is good, and they add on to their fourth-quarter lead. So they go with a pass there on the two-point try and able to convert it, Charles.
And a good job by the offense figuring out their two-point play and using it well. It's interesting how people are using the strategy nowadays, though, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't know how much that particular play factored in, but with the PAT moving back in 15-16, that kind of changed things, didn't it?
It's really a part of everyone's strategy now. When I talk with coaches and when we sit with them, they always talk about they actually have two-point periods in practice now, something they never really did before.
Here's the Steelers' kick team as they'll boot this one away. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. The Falcons offense set to go. Right now, they're in a bit of a tough spot here, CD. You trail them by double digits. Remember the last time out, they fumbled. They're going to have to play some clean football here on this possession.
And all the talk on their sideline has been about taking care of the football, making sure that they're handling the ball correctly. So you know they'll be squeezing the rock pretty tight here. They just have to be careful not to go so hard in doing that they actually cause themselves other problems. Take care of the ball, but still try and play free and natural.
Now Patterson to start the drive. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed first down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the first, you can get a little aggressive here on second down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. To throw, Mariota. Gets this to Ferkser, the tight end. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A shotgun handoff to Patterson, and they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, partner, I don't think it's any secret that any running back wants to be able to see a hole open so that he can gallop through it. But in this case, he had to slow down. There was really no hole there, and he took a big hit in order to get that 1 yard.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Here's Mariota. He'll get this into the hands of Bird. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
When you see zone defense and you know you got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. Throwing, Mariota. Got a man, it's Patterson, complete. Second and 8. Throwing is Mariota. Got a man, it's London. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. Rolling to his right. He's got a man. It's Ferkser, the tight end. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 20-yard line. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
This defense has certainly had an outstanding second half, haven't they? I know they just gave up a first down there, and for the offense, they're hoping that that's something that they can jumpstart with and maybe start to move the ball a little bit better. But it's been tough sledding for them here the entire second half.
From the red zone now, Mariota. That's complete to his tight end, Ferkser. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
8 yards to go on second down.
To throw is Mariota. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and now that sets up 3rd and 2.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
They're going for it with the option right. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, it'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the 4th. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Algier looking for a signal, but none forthcoming. They stopped him shy of the goal line. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
They're right there at the 1. No gain, but don't let that stop you. Line back up and keep going at them. If I'm them, I'm thinking about going at it 4 straight times.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. Play fake. Mariota steps away. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Marcus Mariota taking it in from a yard out. And the Falcons have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a one-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
Now Younghoe Koo for the extra point.
It's up and good. This becomes a 21-14 ball game now. So that one a 13-play drive in total. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Steelers ready to take over on offense. And with that last touchdown, I mean, we're set up for a good finish here. Some things to consider, Charles. Obviously, it's a very close game. You're in the fourth quarter. Defensively, they've got all 3 timeouts in their back pocket.
So the chess match really ramps up, doesn't it? Because in these situations, what do? Do you run the ball and kill the clock here? Or do you try and bury them with another score? And how about defensively? Do you use your timeouts as early as opportunity? Or wait till you hit the 2-minute warning? So there's a lot going into this one. Let's see how each side goes about their strategy. From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Pickett will look to throw it here. Open man, that's the tight end Freiermuth. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Pickett back to throw. And that is incomplete. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. The Steelers send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. Here's Williams to return. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Well, the defense got its job done, forcing the punt. Now the formula pretty simple. They need to find the end zone here. A field goal doesn't help them much. First and 10 now for the Falcons, and Mariota at the 34. Now Mariota. Zacchaeus here hauling it in. That'll go for a gain of 7. And that will bring up 2nd down.
I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't they?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They've got to go thank the guys on D.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. Mariota's throw taken in by London. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 23 yards the pickup there. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Mariota. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
That completion helps out in a nice way. Now they can take a little bit more time, but guess what? They've got to make sure on their throws that they see it open, not just anticipate it.
The clock still runs. We're at 90 seconds now. Here's Mariota. Another completion right back to Patterson. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
Counting down toward a minute to go in this football game. To throw, Mariota. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now. Has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
They'll go. It's Patterson. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24.
Add that one to the good run tally right there. He's been strong throughout this game, and there's no reason to suggest he's going to slow down in the fourth quarter at all. And that's exactly what they need him to do. Keep churning out first downs.
First down now, but that clock rolling. Now Mariota. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Here's Mariota. Throw out right, taken in by Patterson. And he's going to be taken down, but there's a penalty flag in the backfield. Is this a hold, or did they rough the quarterback? Well, certainly those are the types of mistakes they're trying to avoid as they attempt to protect this lead late in the game.
And let's face it, they're hoping that this one doesn't cost them in a significant way. Yeah, one guy committed a penalty, but now the entire defense has to pay the price and try and rise up and overcome it.
Oh, that's going to be a costly one. It's intercepted. Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick. And the Steelers have just about sewn up this football game.
As much football as we watch, we've seen this work many times. In the red zone, first down, take a shot at the end zone, and points result. In this case, though, give credit to the defense. They outguessed them, were prepared, and intercepted the pass.
And the Steelers set to take the field. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
They'll start the drive with Harris. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. Now here's another carry for Harris. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. On third down, here's Harris. And he is not going to get the first down as they'll spot this at about the 28. And with just inside of 10 seconds to go, they'll burn their final timeout. 9 seconds left. The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. This is fielded at the 27. They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line.
As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive. And that's intercepted yet again, and that could be the backbreaker.
Picked off by Akella Witherspoon.
And the Steelers are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line.
So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we talked so much about the turnover battle determining who wins and who loses. This game, no exception. They didn't turn the ball over at all, and they go on to victory.
They look like a smooth operation in this one, didn't they? Because you look at every facet of the game, they handled their business. Offense took care of the football, converted it into points. Defense took the ball away, gave it back to the offense. Special teams, right there with them. That's the type of game a coach is going to really love and value. And when they show the film, they have to be careful not to give out too many kudos and kill their motivation going forward.